Okay, so I realized that many people enter our field, in the field of IT, and even people who don't have an IT background. So I would like to do a quick survey. So who of you here is a manager or scrum master of a team? Yeah? Who of you have an IT education? Okay, and who of you understands what the team does technically? Okay, still a few, but many less. Yeah, I'm a software developer and still an active software developer, and I am in these situations of my team is doing something and I don't understand it. It's just a magic because the technology evolves so quickly that it's simply not possible to follow everything. So I thought that it might be handy to share what I do when I come to a team that works in a technology that I don't fully understand. But with my experience, I'm still able to do something with the team and even to elevate their technical skills. Uh, First, why should you do it? The first talk in this blog was about Durametrics, and Durametrics is connected to the book that's called Accelerate by Nicole Forsgren and Jess Humble. And they have kind of statistically proven this relationship, which is here, that when you do technical excellence practices like TDD or SBE, doing the things right, then it implies probabilistically business agility and doing the right things. And of course, business agility is connected to earning more money for the company. So this is the motivation for you to improve your technical skills, even if it is just on the first side an investment. Maybe I should say what I consider to be a technical excellence. Technical excellence for me is an ability to work on a complicated task together in parallel, many people at the same time. So when you should do it, not at the beginning. When you start in a new team who is not mature yet, who doesn't have their processes right, you should focus on the team. You should focus on the product owner. You should focus on just get the team running and don't care too much about the technical output. But there will be a time, roughly in a couple of months, when everything is running smoothly, team got to the routines, and somehow they still struggle to deliver consistently, to deliver without defects, and to be satisfied with their work technically. And this is the right time to do the steps that they will propose to elevate their technical practice. So I recommend a three-step process, how to do it. First, identify some technical smells, like something not right here. Second, set the perfection goal, the North Star, where we should get. And the third, start improving. I will give you 10 tips to improve that, practical ones. Technical smells. Maybe you are aware of the idea of coding smells coming from Martin Fowler, famous burger factory. But at the T level, there are also some behaviors that you can observe, and they indicate that there is something that's not right in the team. Yeah? For example, code freeze. Yeah? We have to stop developing new features now because we are afraid of releasing on Friday afternoon because we could break something. Something is not right. Or defects. Yeah? We release with many defects and we are not able to get rid of them. Why is it so? It's not necessary. There are companies who release consistently and almost without defects. So why do we release with defects? Then a typical one, superheroes, go-to persons. Yeah? If something is wrong, we always go to Lobo. And only Lobo can save us and he can save the world, and he cannot even take vacation because something wrong could happen, and what would we do? Yeah? And he's on duty on Friday nights, Saturday nights. Yeah. Then there are these untouchable components full of spaghetti code, and people say, hey, this zip parser, please don't touch it. It works, but barely. Yeah? It's kind of a big jelly that just programmers keep somehow in shape, and please don't touch it. Automation, kind of obvious, but still, I meet companies that employ manual testers, and they click, 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 click through the scenarios like monkeys. Work in progress. If you have a situation that you use Scrum and there's a lot of items at the end of the sprint that are not done, it's usually an indication that people were working on too many things in parallel. And why they were doing it? Because they were not able to technically collaborate in parallel on one task, so they have chosen each of them their own tasks. In fact, they were working in silos, and it manifests itself as a long work in progress. If you look at your board or whatever you have in the middle of the sprint, you have 70 members and 8 items in progress. Yeah? Something is wrong. It should be like 1 or 2. And tendency to rewrite. Sometimes developers use the term refactoring in a very loose form. We need to refactor this component, and it will take us 3 months. That's not refactoring. Refactoring is an incremental activity, and each step takes like 5 minutes. Yeah, you don't need to ask for permission to refactor. But they use it in order to indicate that this code is a complete mess, and if you will replace it with something new, then everything will be bright and shiny. It won't. Eventually it will come. It will spend a lot of time rewriting that, and after some time the code will decay in the same way as before. So it's usually better to improve the code incrementally. And when the developers talk about completely right, it tells about their ability to work with the code incrementally, or inability, so in fact. Okay. So, these were the technical smells. Next steps, perfection goal. So, you know something is wrong, and now we should set where should we go. And perfection goal is something that you want to reach. You accept that you might never reach that, but still it serves you as a lighthouse, something where you are heading to, and you can use techniques like what are the best-in-class software companies doing? Yeah? For example, some companies have zero defect policy. Why don't we have it? Or some companies can release multiple times a day. One of the guys from Barclays. Yeah? Some companies, and so on and so on. Yeah? You could also use these smells that we discovered to guide your questions. And you can do it in a workshop, and with a team you can do something like this. Yeah? We, as a team, would technically like to perform greatly, and for us this means, for example, 100% test automation, test runtime under 10 minutes, and so on, and so on. Yeah? Whatever it is, whatever is important for you, whatever makes sense in your context, set as the perfection goal. Once you have that, you can start improving. And I will give you 10 tips to improve. So, when you start in a greenfield, new project, don't make any compromises. Just be perfect at the first minute, which means that when you start a new project, you should not focus, I'm saying better, not that you should not focus on features, you should definitely focus on features, but please don't forget to invest a lot of time in setting the technical practices, in investing into investing into a build pipeline, into continuous integration, into the test automation, and continue investing at least for the first few months, it will greatly pay off later. However, not many of us are on the greenfield projects, so what if you are in a legacy project? And I created this tower of technical excellence practices to somehow indicate the relative difficulty of technical practices, because it doesn't make sense too much to start, for example, with feature flags when you don't have a collective code ownership or chip show ask, because or frequent releases, because the complexity of the technique is too high. You would not be able to successfully do it. When you are not technically in a good shape, it's much better to fix the basics first. And the basics, I try to line that is the green zone below. Yeah, so thermal programming, you can start from day one. There's nothing that prevents you to explain it in 15 minutes and do it. Test-driven development, like pretty easy, you can do it. By the way, when I finish the presentation here, I will go to the client and we will start with test-driven development where they have never done this before. Yeah? After you have these green practices, more or less, doesn't need to be everything, doesn't need to be perfect, but more or less you have it right, you can continue to the next ones. And there I recommend you to adopt them one by one. Yeah? The green ones you can adopt more or less almost all of them at the same time. Yeah, quite straightforward. But as you go higher in this tower, you should focus and do it one at a time. Another technique that is there is to tighten the limits. Because when you set the boundaries, then people will be forced to collaborate, and they will be forced to find the technical ways to collaborate. As an example, I was working on a project where we had 6 months release cycle, and the last 4 weeks of this were occupied by a regression period. Yeah? We had some automation, but there were so many manual tests that the clicking through all the scenarios took 4 weeks. And we tried everything, like for a couple of years we tried to squeeze this 4 weeks period into something shorter, not successfully. And then at one release we said, it will take 2 weeks, do whatever you need. Yeah? And the things did. And actually, the quality was the same as before. Yeah? So by setting the boundaries, we forced the team to abandon the non-effective manual scenarios, to do more automation, and to do whatever was needed to test it. You can sell new technical practices as experiments. I do recommend to do not too many experiments at once, because then it is hard to evaluate them. Yeah. But selling them as experiments helps the team to accept these as something temporary, something we try, and if we like it, then we will keep it. So once I was able to sell mob programming as an experiment, so let's try it for 1 sprint, and they did it, and then they liked it, and they stayed doing it since that time. Yeah. Never go down. You have tools that will show you the quality of your code base. For example, the test automation coverage, and you say, we have now 52% coverage. It's not good, but it's something. We will never go down. So with every commit, you are obliged to do something that this doesn't go down. It doesn't need to go up, but eventually it will, because one day you write some test. Yeah? The incrementality here in the long term is the key. Are you aware of the ATCA change model? this is the gist of it. People are ready for change, but they are in a different state. So they can be in these 5 states: awareness, desire, knowledge, ability, and reinforcement. And you have to adopt the technique depending on which state they are in. So, for example, let's assume that you would like to introduce test-driven development. Yeah? If they don't know what it is, it doesn't make sense to convince them to start. You first need to say, hey, test-driven development exists, and it can bring such and such benefits. Yeah? However, if they've already heard of it and they would like to use it, it's the right time. It's the right time to provide a training. Yeah? Here in this phase, the training will be too soon. They will not accept it. They will not get it. There's no desire yet. Yeah? Here, they need a training and they need coaching. So, understanding where people are is a key to introduce any change, but here specifically the change of technical practices. And of course, keep asking questions. That's why you have studied the technical smells, and you could play stupid and say, I don't understand it. Why do our builds need to take 2 hours? I have heard the story of this company that it takes 10 minutes. So what can we do? Yeah, so that it will take 10 minutes for us. Yeah? I know it's possible, I've heard it. Yeah? So tell me what is different. It sparks good conversations. Be supportive, but not nice. Sometimes the change is intrinsic, but often it needs the first push from outside. Yeah? So the supportive part is, lead by example. Participating in pairing, in mobbing is not difficult, especially mobbing. There are 5 people, you are not so exposed, and you could even contribute. I have seen people who are not technical and were still contributing in the mob because they understood the business, they maybe understood some user experience, and they were able to contribute. So it's not that difficult. It's a little bit out of your comfort zone, but possible. But at the same time, don't be nice. If you really need to improve your team, and you want them to collaborate and to spread their skills, so don't try to find a job for Jiří, because he has nothing to do and he needs to learn front-end. No. Just front-end is now important, so learn to collaborate. Okay, and now 2 tips to avoid. For somebody maybe a bit surprisingly, don't do hackathons, because hackathons send a message, and the message is technical excellence is important now, and not when you do normal job. Yeah? So rather than do this, try to foster the culture where technical excellence is important all the time, with every decision. Yeah? If you need to do something fun, then call it experiment days or whatever, but not something that you deliver right now and it will be great and you can finally have time to fix your problems that you always have. And especially watch for the individual performance goals. Yeah? Because they are an enemy of a team collaboration, and as I said, technical excellence is an ability to collaborate effectively on tasks. The performance goals and promotions, they can lead developers to build their own monuments because they need to be seen as the senior who has designed this component, and it can lead to to behavior that is not healthy for the team. Okay, so to summarize, to help your team to improve your technical excellence, you can identify technical smells, set a perfection goal, and start improving technical practices. If you are willing to share your stories with me, connect with me in LinkedIn. There is a QR code, and I will be happy to take your questions. Thank you.